الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. اللهم اجعلنا هداة مهديين لا ضالين ولا مضلين. اللهم إنا نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب. السلام عليكم. Last week we started talking about this ayat Al-Imran from verse 190 to 194. And mashallah, I get already responses, so I hope there's more than that. No one else did it? All right. The practice that we have it.
I did it, but I just didn't write in response. I read it.
The exercise that we agreed on last week is to read the signs and the ayat in the reverse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala named the creation of heavens and earth as ayat. And we Muslims, we know the ayat is the verses of Quran. We talked about this last week. And we said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to give us another book that you can see, that you interact with the creation. So we have the book of the Quran and we have the book of universe, the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we said that ibadat Tafakor, to think and reflect on those ayat that we come into, we interact with all the time with the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it takes some exercise, it takes a skill. That you pass by a tree and you say subhanallah. Or the air that you breathe. Subhanallah, the thing that you need the most, air for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not give anyone control over it. There's no one can sell air for breathing unless it's special cases. But for normal life, no one sells air. You don't go buy air because you actually don't have time to go buy it. You cannot survive till you go get some more. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, الذي قدر فهدى, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one created you, He knows how much you need it and how urgently you need it. He made it abundantly. There's so much of it. We're not fighting over air. And available, always, for you to breathe. Comes water and food. You have time. You can survive without that for a little bit. So you go and seek it. This is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And list goes on and on and on of that science. And we said last week that you should read the universe. You should have an eye of a believer. That you walk around and you see a miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you cannot really mistake them. They're all everywhere. And you just reflect on that and say subhanallah. So I want to hear from you. If you have any reflections, if you have seen anything that amazing to you that reminded you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And please don't tell me no. You want to say something? Because if you don't raise your hand, I'm just going to ask you actually. Laura, I know you're going to say something. Okay, think about it.
I have to think about it too.
Wow, okay.
Well, I think my grades, I would say, الحمد لله بيعيدوا في آخر السنة.
Great.
Grades, definitely.
Okay, great. Jazakumullah khair. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has control over that too. Any creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
I was
thinking about the moon because it controls so much of our daily lives, like and with the earth and stuff, and we don't really think about it. But if the moon were to move, like even a few meters or something, our entire lives would be changed. But Allah keeps it in place for us.
SubhanAllah, Jazakumullah khair. That precision in creation, the accuracy. If we're close a little bit to the moon and the moon close a little bit to Earth, there's going to be a flood. Or Earth a little bit closer to sun, we're all going to burn. Even a little bit. So that creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm the one usually that doesn't say anything.
I just find it like, I find it like really cool how the earth itself is just so perfect for us, as human beings, where we haven't discovered any areas yet so far. Like we can't, live in any other areas except for this earth. And
Till now we cannot find a livable place other than Earth, as far as we know, as far as humans know, right? We didn't get to that yet. Great, that's right. I'm sure. Brain, human brain. That's something that we have it, but we cannot wrap our head around it. We can't really know enough about it. SubhanAllah. I'll tell you a story about brain at the end, but I don't want to deviate from the subject. When I think about it, okay, I'll come back to you. Go to the voice side.
I don't know.
You don't have any creation of Allah that amaze you?
No.
Nothing. So everything seems normal that it should exist. Nothing look amazing in nature or the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to you?
Clouds.
Clouds,
Because they're like weightless, but they're like at the same time you can actually see them.
Jazakumullah khair. Actually, clouds are not weightless at all, but they're one of the heaviest. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described it as heavy. And you know why? Because one cloud, the weight of one cloud, it could be thousands of elephants. The same weight of thousands of elephants. And actually, that's one of the miracles in the Quran, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called clouds heavy. Although by observation we think because they're moving in air that they're very light, but actually they're not.
The earth, because it's like so much water.
What the percentage? 73. 71? 71.
71.
What else has 71% of water?
My house?
Exactly the same percentage.
I don't know.
Your house has 71% water? You're in the flood zone, man.
I don't know.
Actually, your body. The same percentage of water on Earth is the same percentage of water in our body. Exactly the same percentage.
No.
You should research that. It's very interesting.
If you look at the design of the space where you have the sun and the planets that orbit around it, it's the same as looking at an atom with its nucleus and the electrons and protons going around it. So it's like the smallest scale and then the biggest scale are the same.
SubhanAllah. Yeah, that system of Earth and the skies and the star around Earth, for example, around, the sun, and Tawaf is actually, we go in the same direction in Tawaf, exact the same direction. As also, what else? What else goes in the same direction, like orbits, the same orbits? Anyone knows? Okay. Another ayah, that's fine, don't worry about the example I was talking about.
One thing that really amazes me, just nature itself, like how everything can still work, and if one thing is gone, everything just falls apart and nothing will work anymore. It really amazes me how.
SubhanAllah, the precision of system.
The heart,
Heart. Tell us a little bit more about it.
like your emotion and how you feel.
You're not talking about the physical heart, I thought you were talking about. That's Jazakumullah.
The forest like really, really green and we need it for a lot of things. And sometimes we like destroy it so we can make our own things. And it's like, it's a home for other like living things and we shouldn't take too much of it.
That's true. The ecosystem and Steve was talking about it as well.
And to think about it,
The human body in general, the way it just works, the way it works is
The human body, and it was described in the Quran in one ayah. If anyone knows this ayah, the human body is described in the Quran in one ayah and just Amma.
We just took it,
Okay, I'm coming to the table then.
the last ayah.
Before I move on, what the ayah? Anyone knows the ayah? There is an ayah describes the creation of human body in one ayah, very short. How good it is. No? You guys study Quran here, right?
They know it.
Study Quran. Okay, go ahead.
The last ayah that we were reading.
I'm not sure what this one.
Okay. Okay, know it. Okay. Anyone else know it? لقد خلقنا الإنسان.
I knew somewhere in Surah Al-Alaq.
Bush Malib. It's close in that neighborhood, but it's not Arab.
التين.
سورة التين. خلق الإنسان في أحسن تقويم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us in the best shape that you could ever have. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called it that. في أحسن تقويم.
Building,
Tell me more about it.
the way it's done?
Is that creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
No, but Allah created the humans to make the buildings.
Jazakumullah khair. That's what I wanted to reach. So the accomplishments of the creations, that's what you're talking about? Not only buildings, right? In general. Jazakumullah khair.
The digestive system? Like the human digestive system?
The digestive system. I was listening to somebody who was talking about that, and some doctor was talking about it, and then he was taking questions, and then he said, time. How's time? I don't think خلاص انه اشتغل لو لي وقت يعني يا ريت هو 7 دقايق 7 دقايق. If you can work, that would be great. Yeah. Okay, I want to go back to the one that only want to think about. So, but you're going to tell me something.
Yeah, the ocean and how massive it is. And the ocean itself, like what's inside of it.
I thought you already thought about it, no? Not yet? Okay.
The rain and the thunder,
Rain.
because we don't really have control over it.
SubhanAllah. That's true. We don't have control over rain. Isn't that amazing?
How the earth is round, but the ground is like flat. Like the actual earth is round, but the earth is like flat.
Jazakumullah khair. Did anyone heard her, the sister, what was her name, sister?
Nahla.
Anyone heard Nahla, what she said? No one heard Nahla? Can you say it again, Nahla?
How the earth is round, but the ground that we live on is flat.
How Earth is rounded, but we see it flat. Can anyone explain that? Does anyone knows why? What the wisdom behind it? Anyone knows why?
The earth rotates.
It does rotate, but this is for night and day. See, subhanAllah, from Allah's mercy, that we see things in our size. Meaning, if it's really hard for us, a human, to walk in a circle, but we can walk in a flat surface. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made, because of our size compared to the size of earth, we see it flat. But it is not. So this is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the conditioning. Like what the sister was saying, that earth is the only place suitable for human to live in. And this is one of the reasons actually. The gravity of earth as well. This table had a lot to think about it, so who's still doing to think about it?
Your eye, because it's like a miracle to see.
It's not mine, right?
No, my eye.
Oh, okay. The eye in general, yeah, just like, no, you put about it as well.
Oh, I think like when you see like a flower blooming, there's a light.
SubhanAllah.
You guys were talking about
I was just kidding, I'm sorry.
The seasons, like how they change.
Change of seasons, SubhanAllah. They continue to life, it's in the change of seasons. Jazakumullah khair. You guys see your full of thoughts. Science. Jazakumullah khair. Yeah. Okay. The questions say, I saw her the other day in Aisha Culture Center, our Russia school, hug her dad's friend. I thought it was weird because my parents told me that it is haram. Can you explain whether it is haram or not? Because I am really confused. Well, your intuition is correct, based on the age of the girl. That's what I'm missing in this question. How old is she? Because if she is a little girl, of course it's not haram. So there is more info needed before we say it's haram or halal. But I'm guessing from the question that she's older, meaning 13 plus or 14 plus. In that case, yes, your dad's friend, you're not allowed even to shake his hand, rather than giving him a hug. So, unless he's your uncle, real uncle, like a blood uncle, like is your dad's brother. But if there's no family relationship, when I say family, I mean the same line is like, basically your dad, your brother, your uncle, from both sides, your grandparents, and stuff. There is no other man that you can hug and shake hands with, other than those, the one I said. As long, again, the disclaimer here and what makes a huge difference, how old the girl is. Because it's very, very important. If she's older than 14 or she's obligated to wear hijab, then yes, and that hijab for a reason. Yeah. So your intuition, whoever wrote the question, is correct. It is haram as long as she's older than the age. If she's young, a little girl, of course, there's no restriction on that. Jazakumullah khair. And that's to the best of my knowledge. Yeah. It's not, I'm not here to make fatwa. Go ahead.
I'm going to say one more thing. The Quran, in general, Allah is the word from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a miracle in itself.
Allah.
What about, since he said that each of his family members, what about the cousins, cousins?
Yeah, you're not allowed to hug and shake hands with cousins. Okay. That question actually reminded me of something very important. I know all of you have questions. And let's face it, if you don't have questions, you don't need to be here because you'll be a scholar or maybe you already, you passed, because I have questions. you know? So please, I want that questions, especially question, I got a question the other day, and I'm not gonna answer it today. I'm gonna tell you the question. I know my time is over, but I'm just gonna tell you that question. Someone told me what the point of dua if I keep making dua and it's not answered. So I don't have that relationship with Allah because He never listened to me. That's the question. Think about the answer of that question and ask me questions like this. It's not, I know some of you feel like the pressure, you don't want to say something, and actually give it to me on a blank paper that doesn't have a name, or I don't even know who wrote this, but that's a great way to get the question out. Ask this kind of questions because I know it's in your minds, in your hearts, there is some things. Please write it. جزاكم الله خير. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك.